Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. So, yeah, I've already had a little bit of an exciting morning this morning, and I haven't even been awake for 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. I was actually gonna jump up here, start doing the video, and I was feeling a little bit shaky, and I'm like, let me do a sugar here a minute. So I did that, and yeah, dipped below 80. So I'm like, let me go downstairs and grab a cookie here real quick to get that into me. Good thing I did. Oh, he is such a brat. Um, the My friend's dog, his name is Newton. He's a Goldie retriever basically. But anyway, yeah, somehow or another I was keeping the loaves of bread that I made the other day on the table, but they're in a spot where he can't get to them. But they got moved, or he was able to, or something happened anyway. But yeah, the first loaf everybody devoured, but second loaf hadn't been dug in yet, but was about to be. He kept jumping up. I caught him in the act. He kept jumping up, and stretching to grab that loaf of bread. He got it. He did get it just at the last second before I caught him, and his mouth was wrapped around the one end of the bread. It's like, so yeah, but he didn't get a bite. But I went ahead and took off that side. It's all slimy. Yeah, ew is right. So I took it off, cut it off, and wrapped up the rest, and wound up throwing it up on top of the fridge where I know he can't get it. Oh my goodness! And took that other half outside and broke it up for the squirrels. Basically, I'm like, that'd be fine. Threw it out there by the bird feeder. I'm like, oh my goodness, such a little snot. But oh well, he's not little, obviously, with being a retriever, but still. It's not the first time it's happened. But usually, if with where it was on the table, he can't get to it. But, well, guess what? He's learned. So don't keep anything on the table at all whatsoever any longer. So I'll have to make sure I pass that along. So actually, I just thought I should probably just send out a message in the group chat. So anywho, just let everybody know, where it's at in case they go looking for it, and also let everybody know don't keep anything on the table anymore. So, but anyway, by the way, I did take care of my sugar. I grabbed a cookie on my way up, ate that before jumping up on here. So, but anyway, yesterday before work, well, let's see here, both of them had off yesterday, but Rick did have a doctor's appointment. So, but while he was gone, Angie and I got to talking. Well, I was letting her know about the situation with the AC unit, and I told her, I can pay for it, ahead of time. Somebody just needs to go pick it up. I just need to know if you need any weather stripping or anything like that, before I place the order, so on and so forth. And she was just like, no, don't worry about it. Actually, I was going to talk to you, 'cause she's just like, look, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, with getting one and so forth. And, you know, because you're not going to take it with you anyway. I'm like, yeah, but you've done a lot for us, you know, that whole conversation. She's just like, no, don't worry about it. If anything, I was going to talk to you, see if you can, a little bit later on this month, see if you could start helping out, you know, with bills and so on. I'm like, yeah, it's no problem. I was going to see about doing that anyway. And, and I'm like, I was also, I told her that I made the decision that I'm going to leave Home Depot. Oops, I let that slip, didn't I? Oops. Oh, well. But, you know, I told her it's, you know, because I'm following my, basically, I'm honoring my personality, you know, that's how I put it. She's like, no, I get it. And she's like, yeah, if you would have stayed there a year, I would have been shocked. You know, I know you very well. So, I'll admit, I was a little hesitant to have the conversation or what have you, but it's like, no, it needs to happen. So, I told her, and I'm glad I did. She was very open about it and everything. And, if anything, she's helped me out. She's got her brother-in-law is a car dealer. He not only sells cars, but he also takes you know, that he finds and redoes them and everything. And I told her, okay, and she's like, would you much rather go down that route? And I'm like, yeah, instead of having to be dealing with the rentals every single week, which is very costly. Yeah, that would be awesome. You know, startup, including the deposit, I'm looking at about $550 just for the rental, let alone switching my license over, and getting some things that I'm going to need for the car as well. You know, like a phone stand. Would like to also get a new Bluetooth. You know, it just makes life a lot easier in the long run. So, and she's just like, okay. So, you know, and they also have been dealing with this one guy, one car dealer for the last many years. Also referred over, I think it was his dad or her dad. I don't remember who had been working with him for years. I think it was her dad, but anyway, doesn't matter. So she put calls into both of them to let them know. She was like, okay, what sort of things are you looking for? I told her what the criteria are for Uber, at least for the ride sharing. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do ride sharing or not, but I like to have that as an option just in case I feel that I might need to do that. But just the deliveries for right now, at least get my feet wet. But, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not familiar with the area. I don't know how much money I'm going to be able to make just off of doing deliveries. So I'm excited about it. Even at the prospect, even if I just do it part-time, you know, like on my days off or something, to at least help get my feet wet or what have you. You know, I'm actually excited to be getting a car, you know, and to be starting to go back down that path again. I know what the thing is. I know what I'm getting myself into, obviously, you know. I know it's going to be a difficult road. But at least I'll be going in a direction that is the direction that I want to go. I know when I had talked to Rick about it, told him when he came home from his doctor's appointment, I basically dropped the bomb. That's kind of like how I felt with his reaction. He didn't say anything very much or whatever. He was just kind of like, okay. And I know anybody who's been watching for a while is probably like, okay, you're doing what? But no, I feel good about it. I already know that it's going to be a rough road. I know what I'm getting myself into. That's and everything. But like I said, I'm honoring my soul. I'm honoring my personality, and that's what it boils down to. I've done a lot of soul searching, and it isn't a matter of going back out driving. It's a matter of having that freedom, that independence. And it's not something, I'm not considering, the actual act itself, the actual job itself to be my life calling. It's the other benefits that is my life calling. Being somebody, basically listening to myself instead of listening to everybody else, or allowing circumstances to dictate my path, basically. And that's why I'm doing this. So, yeah, it was a difficult decision, trying, as you all know, if you've been following and so forth. It isn't a decision that I've made lightly, but I feel really good about it. I feel confident about it. I feel very confident about it, very headstrong about it. And even when he was picking me up from work last night, he was like, is it any better at work? Yeah, I know he thinks that I'm doing this because of the dissatisfaction there, and it's not. And unfortunately, we didn't have time to have those discussions and everything like Angie and I did, so he really doesn't have any idea about any of that. So I know I need to have that sit down with him as well. But he's working this morning. He volunteered to, help out at another store that he works at. So, with the chain that he works through. So, yeah, getting himself some extra hours in, which is always a good thing. But I just, personally, as far as buying a car, I'd much rather take that money that I was going to have to be shelling out for a rental and use that as the down payment. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I'm working on keeping my expenses down right now as much as possible. But of course still sticking with my diet, sticking with the organics and so forth, and going from there. So, and it was so funny. At work last night, all of a sudden, it was like kind of towards the end of closing, basically. Not the end of my shift. I still had another hour to go. But there towards the end of closing, man, my right hand, started just itching up a storm. And I'm like, okay, I get it. With me, the indicators with money, as far as money is concerned, right hand is, if it starts itching like it was with that deep inside itching feeling, and it just cannot get in there and scratch it no matter how hard I try. That with the right hand, it means that I'm going to spend money, basically get money and spend it, or just plain flat out spend it. Left hand means that I'm going to get money and save it. So, and I still have that class action suit pending. Well, it's been settled. They're just having to be sifting through everything, basically. So that way they know how much money to dole out to each of us. So, still waiting on that. And I've been a part of that for, gosh, years. we're looking at probably 4 years, something like that. So we're talking a nice chunk of change. So it's like, all right. But that'll be nice to have as a base as well. So, but yeah, we're moving forward. This is just one step in the direction that I want to go. But it's nice to have as that backup to be able to move in that direction. So, yeah, we're moving forward with things. Yes. And I need to do this. I need to do this in many ways. So, one thing I forgot to check, I just thought of, I know my tablet isn't in the best of condition anymore. It is really chugging when it comes to trying to do much of anything. I forgot to check the score last night. Oh, boys. They lost by 1 point. That's okay. That's all right. Still love them no matter what. Still love them. So, all right. That's awesome. I just thought of something else I need to check on too. So, like I said, we are moving forward. We are starting to make those steps in the direction that I want to go. Exciting. Very exciting. Also, another part of the conversation that I had with Miss Angie yesterday, told her about my NDE, which wasn't a very easy conversation to have with her, because I know, well, how that came up is, we were basically talking about everything, and she's a very religious person, a diehard Christian woman, which I respect. I don't have a problem with that. And there's, even though we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, in as far as spiritual beliefs are concerned, we respect each other with them. The conversations have come up a couple of times throughout our friendship and everything. Even after I got here, her asking me the question, are you somebody who believes, that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior and your salvation, blah, 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 blah. No disrespect when I say it that way, okay? It's just my way of thinking, okay? And it's not a negative way of thinking. It's just, okay, instead of doing the whole spiel. So anyway, and I do the same thing with my own, beliefs as well. So anyway, I know something's funky with my eye there. So anyway, I'm like, I couldn't help but start laughing, because with the experience that I had and everything, there is no division like that. Well, that's basically what she was talking, how I finally spilled the beans with what happened, is she was started talking about the divisions, within Christianity, and she, where everybody's, got their own beliefs or what have you, and she's like, why can't we just, come together, and, all this sort of stuff and everything. I'm like, well, when it comes to that point, when you cross over basically in that realm or whatever, there is no division between religions. And I'm not just talking about Christianity here, okay? There is no Christianity. There is no Buddhism. There is no Islam. There is no Judaism. There's just oneness. there's just unity. And I told her how it happened, with the stress test and so on and so forth. I told her I don't feel like it was it, because nothing actually happened. But I consider it, so I don't really classify it as a near-death experience or an NDE. I consider it to be more of a gift that was given to me. And I was explaining it all to her with what I experienced, what I saw, what I experienced, and so forth. And the one question that she asked me is like, well, what about, people who have been doing evil things, with them atoning? Basically, diving into what she's been taught. And I'm like, it's more, when you're there, it's more an acceptance of whether you are willing to accept that love that you're feeling. And that's how you are atoning. And she's like, huh. Because I told her I met what I consider to be entities and so forth. I didn't tell her which ones or anything. A couple of them are very well known names. Well, actually, they're all well known names, but anyway. Another story. And that's one I won't go into with anybody. I don't care who it is. But anyway, she was just like, yeah, kind of questioning that and everything, because of course it's contrary to what you're taught, like at church and so forth. And I'm like, as long as you are accepting the love, being open to that love, then that's how you're atoning for anything you've done. And that made her think. I don't know if it was an acceptance or not, but that's the way I look at it is that it doesn't matter who I tell it to, that's going to be part of your journey. I just know what I know based off what I experienced. So anyway, I broke down and told her about that. And I also broke down and told her about the book. And a little bit about the situation with that. Didn't go into any details or anything. I felt it was necessary. I did also tell Rick about that. I didn't have time to talk to him about much of anything. He just knows about the book. I did bring the book downstairs. And went into things a little bit, but not a whole lot. It felt, and the reason why I'm bringing all this up is it felt good to finally unburden myself with all of it, especially the situation with the book. It just felt so good to finally, and I have been debating this ever since pretty much from the get-go, I'll put it that way. And here lately it's been coming up a lot in my brain, and I'm like, should I or shouldn't I? Shouldn't I or shouldn't I? But Angie and I, we had a really good talk about it. and cleared some air um, about some things. So, like I said, it felt really, really good to finally be able to unburden myself, at least a little bit. Some, of course, there's things I will not talk about, because as far as I'm concerned, that is very, very personal. But it did feel good to talk about all of it. But I wrestled with it all big time. But especially considering, especially with the NDE and the fact that I know that they're very 3D, even though they're very spiritual people, Angie more so than Rick. It I know that as far as believing in gifts, as far as like having connection with spirit, being able to talk directly with spirit, especially whenever I bring up situation with tarot and oracle cards. Of course I haven't told them, I am a medium, I am an empath, and all this sort of stuff. But just to bring up that, it was a very difficult decision, but I'm glad that I did. At least it seemed like she was open to it and everything. So whether she is or not, that's choices that she has to make. And but yeah, it was a very good talk. So, but anywho, yeah, that was a good situation. But I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah. So anyway, as far as the AC unit is concerned, Angie went and got one. I got the one that I was looking at. Actually, I forget that the store is even there. It's more of a local or regional chain, basically. Okay. I remember it being talked about mentioned when I was a kid growing up, with my grandmother living in Wisconsin. And I had completely forgotten about it. And I still forget they're there because of it. So, but anyway, she went and got one. And when Rick picked me up from work last night, and he's like, "Oh, hi." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, I just had this funny feeling the whole time with them getting it. I was just like, yeah, something's up here. And I knew what it was going to be. Yeah, you probably already guessed it. And then when I pick him up, and his disposition, he's like, yeah, I don't remember what I had said. And he's like, yeah, we need to talk about something. I'm like, what, did you destroy my book? Because I lent it to him for them. I told him to read it, even though he doesn't read. And I'm like, what? I told you. I want the book back unscathed. And I'm like, what did you do? Did you destroy my book? And he's like, nope. And what? Did you scare my cat when you went to put the AC unit in? He's just like, yeah, we'll talk about that. And I'm like, what? Did you drop it onto the cement below? Yep. I already knew. He's like, well, so I get in the car. I have to put my stuff in the back seat. And I get in the car, and And he's like, well, it didn't get completely destroyed. Basically, the side things that, that pull out, I can't remember what they're called. Those are destroyed. But he's like, yeah, it's set up in your room. It's not in the window, but it's sitting on something he did makeshift, mostly to test it, because it was kind of, it was really cool last night, so it's not going to be all that much. It is blowing, I got home. I should post a picture of what this looks like. The screen is closed. Of course, the window's open. Screen is closed. It's sitting on top of the old unit, okay? On top of 2x4s, okay? And the back end is pushed up against the screen so it can air. But there's nothing blocking on either side. There's nothing blocking the air, the outside air from coming in. So we really don't know if this thing is actually working or not. If 'cause I didn't hear the compressor clicking on or off. Okay, but it was blowing out cold air. But at the same point, it was cool out last night. So I'm just kind of like, oh, fuck, is this thing actually working or not? The front end, the front part of it, the right-hand side, as you're looking at it, it's left-hand side, but as you're looking at it, it's our right-hand side, is kind of sticking out a little bit. Like I said, I should post a picture of this thing. And, of course, the slides on the side, it has no slides. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, okay, how can we jury rig this? So I got thinking about, because let's face it, living out there, I'm a bit of an expert when it comes to window AC units and so forth. Yeah, we do have central air, but a lot of times you have to run central air, but for like upstairs bedrooms, especially like in the older home that I was living in, you need window units to help with the situation, because it can get scorching upstairs a lot of times, especially with the older homes that don't have proper insulation, because it disintegrates over time and so on and so forth. And like with that house, it was like the attic was barely even a crawl space. The only size person that could get up into the attic, because it was basically a hatch up in the ceiling, and it was in actually my closet, my bedroom closet, in the corner. The only way you could get up there, you couldn't even use, like a regular, like a 8-foot ladder or whatever. You had to bring in one of those sliding ladders, like one of those 12-foot ladders or what have you. One of those that slides, okay, that you put up against a house, a building or whatever. You had to bring that in, put it at a slant, at an angle of at least 60 degrees. And it had to be kind of catty-cornered or what have you. And the only size person that could get up there couldn't be any taller than 5 feet. I'm not kidding. And they had to be extremely skinny. I'm 5'3" and typically weigh like around 140 pounds. I couldn't even get up there. Right. I'm the smallest person in the house. I can't even get up there. We're talking to basically a child. Like maybe someone who's like around maybe 11 years old or something. As long as they haven't had their growth spurt yet. No more, maybe an 8-year-old. Right. It's like, holy cow. So, and the heat would just pour in from up there, even with having the AC unit replaced on top of the roof. Because out there, they're typically installed on the rooftops, or they're encased if they're on the ground because of all the sandstorms. But yeah, it's even with that going full blast and so forth, it would still be very hot in the afternoons. So you usually will have like a window unit or a portable installed to help out with keeping it cool. So I'm kind of relying on my experiences with all that and trying to think, okay, what can we jury rig? And I'm just like, okay, if you got, like a spare piece of plywood, we could take and do around it and make, doing, like makeshift fins or what have you. He was thinking he has some foam or something that's in the garage that he might be able to jury rig. But then I'm also thinking about the rain and how it, wondering if it's anything that's waterproof, because I do get a lot of rain here. So I need to make sure I bring that out to him. He's supposed to be off work at about noon, and I have to be in at 1. So if I have time to catch him before I have to shuffle out the door, maybe I can, remind him of the rain, what have you. So, or maybe I'll just say fucking throw in the group chat. Hello, we do have a house group chat. Duh. So, I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that was funny. I have to talk about this. And I know that it's definitely scared little Miss Idget here because things were a bit a mess. Things were knocked over and so forth, so she got spoofed. So, like, okay, but yeah. Anywho, so that was I got a nice chuckle last night because I already knew what was going to be brought up, and he was being all trying to be coy, but at the same point, yeah. But I pointed it out to him. We're going to have to, because unfortunately it's wide open with the two sides of the window. It's like, yeah, we're going to have to figure out something because and it's going to have to happen today as soon as he gets home, because we're expected to get up to 80 today, and it's going to get sweltering in here in a big hurry. So something's going to have to happen. So yeah, I'm like, yep, you'll have to work on that after you get home from work. And he's just like, mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, So, but I know, sucks to be him right now. And that's what I was in fear, only with me trying to put it in the old one in this window right here. That's where I was trying to put it initially. But it's all grass right up underneath there, but still yet that would have been a huge crash. And that's one of the reasons why I decided, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm going to let him do it. And sure enough, it wound up happening. I know, those who laugh first. I can't help myself. I know, I'm going to have something happen, but that's okay. I'll remember this. So anyway, yeah, things at work were quite easy last night. Everybody, or at least some people were like, what happened, this and that. I basically just said that, yeah, I was having problems with my diabetes. Didn't go into what happened too much. Just said, yeah, I had a really bad high sugar. I even showed the one person, she's a diabetic, only type 2, and she was just like, holy shit, 426. It's like, yeah. Did you eat something or whatever? All I can figure out is I had that really bad low on Saturday and backlash. I'm not going to tell them, oops, I fucked up. Just a pen problem with my diabetes. Gosh. But yeah, it was really kind of weird because everybody was just being really nicey, and she kept asking me, "You okay? You okay? You okay?" I'm fine. Just keeping an eye on my sugar. That's all. Every time I would check, because I would feel a little funky or whatever, I couldn't get my sugar to come down before I left for work, so I took a few extra doses, a few extra units, and I was like over 300, and I'm like, no, and I didn't even have my hot cocoa, and it's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I took a few extra units to help drive it down. That helped. So, yeah, that was... It was funny because I kept getting the question, you okay? You okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm fine. Driving me nuts. But I'm fine. It's all right. She's like, I've never been that high. And I'm like, welcome to the world of a type 1. We're very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. So, I expected it, to have the backlash and everything with what happened the other night. So, it's going to take a minute to get things rebalanced, recalibrated. And I was definitely feeling it. My joints, my muscles, my nerves, my nerve endings, I was definitely feeling it all with trying to move around. But it's like, nope, keep moving, push through it. And I know I've gained a little bit of weight, and I need to lose all this weight too. So it's like, okay, keep moving, keep pushing, it'll also help with the weight loss. So, but, yeah, everybody had a different demeanor last night. It was kind of weird. I don't know. Kind of a weird feeling. Even one person hates my guts. There was an incident that happened, and I was just like, okay. But he's the sort of person, he's Mr. Rough and Tough. Thinks he's a badass, basically. It's like, yeah, dude, you have no idea. But then again, I have no idea either. Who knows, maybe in the process, some air will be cleared. But he was even being nice to me last night. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much everything going on that happened. It's like exciting day yesterday. Oh my goodness. But I feel really good. I feel really, really good with going down this road. Really good. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, anywho, it feels really good to be releasing and letting go of this chapter that I'm in right now. It's like, yes. And to unburden myself, too. So, anywho, I need to get myself rolling. Love you guys. I will talk at you soon. Love you.